Example of that would be, for instance, alcohol, which is wild that I came to that one. Let's pick another one. Hi, I'm KD. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently. I thought it would be good for me to document me trying to learn Portuguese. I'm not coming from a beginner level, but I definitely could use improvement with how I speak, because I basically can't really communicate with anybody in Portuguese other than somebody who's speaking slowly to me. And listening, I am decent, again, if you're speaking slow. I thought it'd be good to document this process because a lot of the videos I saw when I was trying to learn Portuguese initially only came from somebody who was, one, an instructor, or two, already knew the language and was trying to backtrack, teach people their process. So I plan to really put a solid effort into trying to, on a weekly basis, record this video and also daily go through learning Portuguese, because you can't really learn any language if you only try and learn like an hour a week. It's not a weekly thing. You have to kind of be committed to it. I'm not saying you have to spend an hour each day. Great if you can and if you want to, but it only really takes like 30 to 45 minutes every day, or at least majority of the week, like 4 to 5 times a week, in order for you to really retain what you're going through. My plan is to, at the beginning, show you where I am in reading, writing, listening, and talking by talking with Gaby, so you see where I am, and then at the end of the process, see if I've improved or not, and maybe daily kind of go through it too. I don't know, kind of making this up as I go along. So my game plan for learning is to break it into 3 steps that I feel are the most important. Step 1 is to use a book that will help me learn the mechanics better. I'm not saying what book you should use. There are plenty of suggestions of different books that teach the beginnings of Portuguese up to intermediate and advanced level. This is the book I'm gonna start with. I got it years ago. It's called Everything Learning Brazilian Portuguese. It's a good start. It's basically like a crash course, introductory course. I've read it before, but I'm gonna go back through it. It's about 20 chapters, and maybe even get another book to help improve even more. Second step is to learn vocabulary. I have a vocabulary book as well. It basically has the first half of Portuguese words translated to English, and then the second half is English words translated to Portuguese. I'm going through the English section and picking out words that I know I use on a regular basis. Also picking out words that I don't know already in Portuguese. And lastly, words that don't sound like an English word at all. Going through highlighting, writing those words down, and then studying those words that I pick every week. Third step is straight immersion. What I mean by that is to engage in media content, watching videos in Portuguese with English subtitles, watching videos in English with Portuguese subtitles. You're listening to songs sang in Portuguese, and then eventually moving to a point where you don't need the subtitles to translate one way to the other. That way you kind of always hear it and how it's spoken, because learning a language isn't necessarily just the mechanics and the vocabulary. It's how people say it. Brazilian people speak, then you don't really know what to say, or they may not understand what you're trying to say because it's so weird or strange. The last thing is getting a Brazilian friend. There's plenty of apps. I think that you can meet with people that are trying to learn languages. Italki, maybe. I'm not sure the name of the app, but yeah, those 3 steps I think makes it easy to learn a language, and that's what I plan to try and use to better my Portuguese. So one thing you may be asking is what apps I can use, especially Duolingo. Duolingo is good if you just need something. It's not the best app to learn a language. That's just my personal experience. I've never learned anything substantial with Duolingo. I don't know. If that's what you want to use, fine. As long as you're engaged with it on a daily basis, I think it's good. I know that there's an app called Anki where you can create your own vocabulary words or download vocab packets. That way you're kind of going through and saying what you're good at and what you're not at. If you can stick with that every day, then that helps with the whole vocab part of the process. There is a conjugation app. They have apps where you just type in the base word and it'll conjugate it for you if you're having a problem, if you're at that level. And then, like I said, Italki, where you can meet somebody that's trying to learn your language and you're trying to learn theirs, and y'all can spend some time helping each other learn each other's language. So moving on, went back over the book, and I'm going to go over briefly the first 3 chapters just to kind of give you a little bit of what it talks about in case you want to get this book. The first chapter in this is called Introducing the Language. Essentially what they go over is the obvious one: Portuguese is not Spanish, and don't ever say it is, otherwise you will offend most of Brazil, so don't do that. They also go over how indigenous languages and African languages affected the evolution of Brazilian Portuguese, and they were introduced into the language. They also go over some similarities between Portuguese words to English words. Then they also went into the false cognates, so things that sound the same but they don't mean the same, which are very important to learn. So an example of that would be like assistir. You think in English assist to help, but it's not. It means to like attend or to watch or something like that. Watch out for those. You also go over the translation of suffixes like agin and age. So like bagagem is baggage, anchi and int, or accidenti is accident. You get it? Those are helpful. It helps identify how the word is being used. After that, it goes to chapter 2, which is the sounds of Portuguese, and it starts off by going over the alphabet, which looks very similar to English. It's almost exactly the same like most Latin languages, with the exception of adding 5 different characters. So you have the circumflex, the acute, grave, sedilia, that's the little squiggly one, and tilde. Alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, A, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, X, W, Y, and Z. Again, I think it's very important for you to learn the alphabet and how those words fit and form each other, which is the remainder of chapter 2 is talking about how different letters together make certain sounds, like N and H, where you have conhecer, you get it. Also, the difference when you have those different accents. For instance, the word for grandfather and grandmother is avó and avá, but both are spelled exactly the same, just different accents on the O. It's very important because if you're trying to read in Portuguese, it's great to have these mechanics down so that you can read effectively and not learn the wrong way to say it based off of what you think it should be. Then, of course, they go over the nasal sounds, which is something that takes some time to get used to, because speaking a different language, your mouth kind of naturally wants to form a certain way. And Portuguese to English is very different in that the palate of the mouth, I think, is more raised. The tongue doesn't sit close to the teeth. They don't do that a lot. We do. Adversely, they have a lot more of the in the nasal sound. So like bong or maung. You have to really practice that. It kind of goes into the difference in understanding how nasal sounds actually work and how you can recognize it in conjunction when the letters are combined. And then last chapter was chapter 3, beginning conversation. So oi, tudo bem, bom dia, all the normal stuff. So I really kind of skipped over that because I've got that done. I'm a pro at something, okay? Can kind of get into the 4th chapter, which was nouns, articles, and contradictions, which was wild to me because prepositions in general, you have one preposition for 3 prepositions in English, and it can go the other way real quick. So like ain, em, can be in, on, or at for us. Wild. Initially, I was like, but you know, you get used to it after a while. One thing I did miss is that they talked about the word agente, which translates directly to we the people. The word agente is used everywhere in Brazil. It is just a very common pronoun-ish word. I didn't go through pronouns, but eu, I, você, you, ele, ela, you get it. Agente is used for like half of those. So get used to it. So just to let you know how bad I am, because I am bad, I brought Gaby in to have a conversation, and you could see how much I actually know understanding her and how good I am in actually talking in Portuguese. She's going to talk and I'm going to respond, and we're going to see how good or bad this goes.
Vamos lá. O que você mais gosta do Brasil?
A praias, ou praias,
As praias.
As praias e o tempo.
O clima, the weather.
Yeah.
O clima.
Tempo is used for weather too, though, right?
Yes, but when you want to say like, oh, it's sunny, it's cloudy. O clima.
Tá bom. E a conexão com todo pessoas?
A conexão.
A conexão com tudo. Todas. Meu Deus.
As pessoas.
As pessoas.
E a comida. Você gosta?
E sim, eu gosto.
Qual é a sua comida favorita?
Feijoada.
Feijoada?
Sim. E deserto?
Sobremesa.
Sobremesa. Aí eu sei. I knew that one. Sobremesa é bolo de coco.
Bolo de coco.
Sim.
De quem?
Hã?
De quem? Quem faz o melhor bolo de coco do mundo?
Tia Helena.
Ah, tá bom. E qual o seu atrativo turístico favorito?
Pedro do Sal e a festa do samba no segunda-feira.
Ah, sambódromo. Carnaval?
No.
Ah, sim. O samba.
It's samba.
Samba da Pedra do Sal. Pode falar samba da Pedra do Sal.
It's not a party? But it's not the name.
É.
Mas carnaval também.
Carnaval?
Yeah.
O que você mais gosta do carnaval?
Camarote.
Camarote? Meu Deus.
Bebendo muito refrescas.
Refresco? Fresco is like something that doesn't have any alcohol.
Oh, scratch that. Caipirinhas.
Ah, tá.
E comida.
Comida. Muita?
Sim. Outra pergunta pra mim?
Deixa eu ver. Entre Cristo Redentor e Pão de Açúcar, o que você prefere?
What type of sugar?
Não. Entre o Cristo Redentor e o Pão de Açúcar, o que você prefere?
Ah, eu não fico em pão de açúcar com clemente boa.
Clima.
Clima boa.
Bom.
Clima bom.
Com clima bom.
Com clima bom. Então, Cristo de Redentor é melhor comparado este lugar.
Com Pão de Açúcar.
Com pão de açúcar.
Entendi. Tá.
Mas no dia clima é bom, provavelmente
Isso.
pão de açúcar é melhor.
Eu gosto mais do Pão de Açúcar.
Sim.
Mas se o clima estiver bom.
Sim. No
Nublado.
Nublado. Yeah.
Cloudy.
E sim.
Nublado.
Yeah, sim. So you get an idea of how bad I actually am. Like I said, I'm not at the bottom. I can understand things, but she's speaking slow and she's speaking about things that are common. So I know how to respond. She can't just talk freely like she normally would with her friends or her parents or anybody else that speaks Portuguese. I'm trying to get to that level. So we're going to see how this journey goes. But I hope that you like this video and we're going to continue doing these videos. And if you like this video,
like the video,
subscribe to the channel
and turn on the notification bell.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Yes.
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau. Beijo. Tchau.
Beijo. Kiss. Bye.